And little did she know I conducted the entire parent-teacher conference with my pants falling down, while one-handing a bottle to my kid, who up to the exact moment I began the conference had been crying hysterically. And that is my craziest parent-teacher conference. Oh, hey guys, Mr. Yun here, over from the Pittsburgh office. Today we're going to do a short presentation on educational leadership, more specifically communication skills for leaders. So when we're talking about educational leadership, I mostly zoom right to the principal, but I have found that the qualities mentioned in all these articles really apply to leaders in any range of careers. They all have a lot of things in common, even though this one is geared towards education. I do not doubt that you will recognize some of these traits, perhaps from former employers. So I always think of the commander I had, whose name I shall not mention, and he shared a lot of qualities with poor managers that I had maybe later in life. So let's think about some of these aspects, some of these traits that they have. Big one was they were rude. Maybe they're commanding or bossy. They just tell you what to do. Maybe they don't get back to you, which is a problem I've never heard of before. Maybe you have serious inquiries and you have to, get halted in your work because you need guidance moving forward, and they're not answering your phone calls or sending emails to you or whatnot, or getting back to your messages. Maybe they made decisions that really you did not like. Maybe they screwed you over, and you have no idea why they made these decisions. I find that the best leaders, especially when making a difficult decision that will have widespread effects, let you know why that decision was made. In general, it's safe to say if you've had a boss or leader you didn't like, you did not respect them, and you probably didn't feel respected by them. You also probably had a bad rapport. And that rapport is probably why the subtitle of this is all about communication skills. Now, it's kind of hard to tell here with our principals, because don't tell me you're not all thinking about it at this point, on how their educational leadership skills will stack up, because we have a revolving door of principals here. We change principals about as often as you Westchester folk change desks every year. So today I want to talk about qualities that make a good leader, particularly in the field of education. As I mentioned, most of it has to do with rapport. How is your rapport with them? A big part of that is, do you feel like your leadership listens to you? When you go to talk to them, are they sort of just giving you the okay, I'll look into that, giving you the buzzwords, or are they actually listening on that topic? Can they empathize? Now, we're all different. Some teachers have problems that maybe your principal has never dealt with. Maybe you've got a principal that's like a tank and he never had to deal with behavioral management issues. And maybe you're dealing with behavioral management issues. Are they just going to tell you to just yell at the kid or send him to the principal's office? Or are they going to go, I can understand why that would be a problem for you. Here's how I think we can fix this, or here's how I can help you. Do they empathize? Do they observe your classroom and methods with an open mind? There's a whole article in here about that. And this really has to do with the fact that we all teach a little differently, and we all have to teach a little differently because we have different students. So is this principal or educational leadership coming into your classroom and observing your methods with an open mind, or do they have a concrete way they like things done? We all kind of dread when a principal comes in and tells us a certain way to do something that is different from the way we like to do it, because perhaps it caters to our strength, perhaps it caters to our students' strength. Fortunately, I think a lot of us understand now that classrooms need to be more flexible because of our student body, and we don't have that problem a lot. But even so, on the topic of observations, nobody likes those, right? But it's something they have to do. So a good leader, a good educational leader, will make it a lot less stressful for you, especially if you know they have an open mind. Are they encouraging? I've always found the best leaders, the ones that you would follow into hell, are the ones that, not that you're afraid of, but the ones that you want to talk to, the ones whose input you want and you respect. And when you get done with them and they say, all right, here's what you did, here's what I like, here's what you can improve on. If you walk away from that interaction feeling good about where it's going, it's probably an encouraging principal, probably a good leader. So that's something that's important. I personally have the method, the old compliment sandwich, where maybe you start with something good, put something in they can work in the middle, and then end with something good. And usually that's a good way to handle it. It's a good rule of thumb for being encouraging. Do they make you feel like an essential part of the team? If you go to work every day and then you leave work every day and you say to yourself, if I left, nobody would care and nothing would happen. It's not good for morale. If you don't feel good, you're not going to do good. So it's important that your leader makes sure that you understand your essential role and function in whatever you're doing, in this case, education. And perhaps most importantly, are they sincere and committed to improving education and educating your students? I mean, if you have a leader or a manager that doesn't give a crap about what you're doing, nobody's going to take that guy or gal seriously. But if you have a leader and you see this individual is 100% committed, even though you might not agree with them on fundamental levels, if you know that in the end you're on the same side and you're both committed to the same goal, that's a good indicator that that individual is a good leader. Not necessarily, but it's probably a good sign. So that's really the meat and potatoes, the short version of this, and we're on about 7 minutes, so I'm in the wheelhouse. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a wonderful day.